What is happening? So, we're back again for a quick, not quick, quite a fucking long one, talk through Lords of the Fallen. Played through quite a few playthroughs now, so I thought we'll have a little look, get through the easiest. There's a lot of hidden stuff in it. Personally, I think it's probably one of the better Souls-like games, to be honest. Played Lies of P. I prefer this. But yeah, without any further ado, whether you're somebody who's played it a few times, just trying to find some of the secrets, or whether you've never touched it before. So, very quickly. So, quite a lot of different classes. You can unlock them playing through the game. You can cheat and just buy them. Most people generally, especially those who pre-ordered it, go with the Dark Crusader. Quite a heavy strength build. That always used to be my choice with Souls games. However, I'd start to go in this game down the Radiant route. But a slight difference, this time we're going to be playing through with the Putrid Child, which is the Umbral School of Magic. Now the reason I choose them, if you have a look at Radiance and Inferno, which are the two magic schools, both 15-15. If we go to Radiant Purifier, which is the like the wizard type role, you see it's Radiance 18, so a couple higher, but Inferno's only 8. So the Putrid Child, magic-wise, we're pretty much there with both schools, so we can flip between the two. I always prefer like a quality build. So, you know, playing the Souls, I would go down the strength route, but I'd always make sure I could do some magic. I've not played through as an Umbral character, however, I am still going to include Radiant weapons, Radiant spells, because to be honest, Radiant is pretty much OP for the game. Oh. Yeah, no thanks, mate. We're going to war, not to fucking Waitrose. Right. I'm not gonna mess around with his face, all that kind of stuff, because to be honest, throughout the whole game, you ain't gonna see his face. The only bit I do like to change, because of various helmets, is eye colour. Fucking come on. What I don't like about this, there we go. So white. Certain helmets, it looks pretty cool, you'll see his eyes shining through the helmet. But yeah, that's us done. What name have we got? Okay, random. So let's get into it. Now we're not going to do any cutscenes, because I'm taking it you've played it through. If you want to watch the cutscenes, just pause me. Okay, so here we are. Now, graphics wise, if you play it on quality, to be honest, it doesn't make an awful amount of difference. A tiny little bit of sharpness, but compared to the stuttering, I recommend playing it on, especially with some of the fast-paced battles, I recommend playing it on performance mode. And you can see much smoother. Anywho, let's go. So we've got our first little enemy coming up. Now in this game, you do want to try and oh, too busy talking. You do want to try and parry. Now, if you mess up your parry, and you get hit when you're blocking, you'll get what's called wither damage, which you can see that grey section at the top of my health bar. But if you attack the enemy back, that disappears and you get your health back. I just want to come down here. Invigorated skull, that's basically kind of like the the small souls you would get in Dark Souls that you can exchange for cash. Now let's have a look, see what spells we got. So spells. Alright, so that's not too bad one. So it's just like little mines. Poison doesn't do a massive amount of damage, okay, and yeah, okay, that's not too bad. I don't know what this cloud is. It's a bit annoying. Okay, now if you drop down, it's just going to take you back to where you literally just come from, so... First little magic guys. Now you can two-hand it. All the controls are bare, you know, let's go off it, pretty much identical to Souls. Have we got something that we can... Okay, yeah, that looks good. Now you can... Now you can do a kind of a backstab, but you have to stun them. The tutorial will take you into that. Right, okay, you can't open that door yet, so we'll come around here. Pop a little magic refill. Now to get through here, we pop out Umbral Lamp. And you can see there's a whole world. So don't be afraid to, you know, explore around. A lot of mistake people made when they first played through in this game is they miss so much from the Umbral world. Now there are some sections where you'll need to enter the world completely. Well, I doubt that, you know, if I'm like basically an Umbral character, you'd think I'd get some kind of extra benefit from fighting in this world. Pop the belly. And that removes the barrier. Yeah, I mean, there's a few things that aren't fantastic about the game. You know, the endings, there is a few different endings, but in a way they're all pretty much exactly the same. You get a bit of white writing on the screen, that's it. Okay, so we need to pop this belly. Now these balls, these fill up your lantern charges, which you'll see that demonstrated in a bit. They can also, if your health is down, not withered, if your health is actually gone, they can refill your health a tiny bit. Boom. I love that jumping attack. We've got a little belly there, treasure belly. really sure what that is doing. I thought maybe it was like blinding him or something, but now it moved on to me. Saintly Quintessence, basically you're upgrading your amount of crosses or flasks. Tell you what, let's have a little look at what this spell actually is. So, remember, the Umbral Magic reduces attack and defense upon striking a target. Okay. Stationary orbs, yeah. Which poisons enemies caught within it. Okay, so that weird little cloud thing just diminishes their attack a little bit. So them guys are nothings, just little thralls. Now in the Umbral world, you can see you've got like what looks like a closed eye on the top right of the screen. It won't happen in this section, basically the tutorial area. When you get into the real world, oh there we go, the eyes opened a little bit. The longer you're in Umbral, the more dangerous it gets, the more enemies that come, and similar to the original game, your multiplier increases. So if you want to grind a little bit, doing it in the Umbral world will net you more points quicker. Eventually you'll get like a wraith with a big sky blade, like a reaper. Oh, fuck's sake. Who is, especially this early on in the game, very tough to take down. So just checking the time. Are we doing 12 minutes? Okay. Now these little fellas, this is where we can emerge. And any enemies from the Umbral world will vanish away. However, it seems a mistake on the game maker's part that that same logic doesn't apply to the enemies in the real world. As in that when you enter the Umbral world, they can still attack you. Seems a bit silly, really. And now that whole section is so it was all about this door was blocked by an Umbral entity, which I should have shown you. And we get our first vestige, aka bonfire. That's activated it, and we just want to go and rest there. Now, unlike the Souls games, right off the bat, can't do it yet, you can upgrade your characters straight away, which normally you have to unlock that ability. Now we're going to go, we're going to pump up our radiance first. Now you can see the top left shows you at the far side 2137. That's how much we need for the next level, so we're short. Just been a bit of a mong. Okay, so now we're going to have a double little boss fight. Now this is the crazy thing, right at the beginning of the game we've got a boss who's not too difficult, and then we face straight after one of the end bosses. Now this is mainly to force you to die, to teach you the dying mechanics. So we're going to take out this guy first. Going to use a bit of magic on him, may as well. Be rude not to. So we talked about wither damage, using our what's called a soul flame. We used our lamp do a Doctor Strange and rip his soul out, and then we battered him. I'm not a massive fan of these spells. I mean, I suppose if we keep him coming to the eyeballs. Come on. Well, one thing I hate about this game is the ridiculous arch some of these enemies can get. Now him becomes quite a common normal enemy, but we can try and parry him. Just for a bit of laugh. Now parrying's not my strong point. There's one parry. There we go. And if you parry him enough times, you'll weaken him up, and you can do that to him. Scheiße. Now you can see the little circle, and there's that circle that's kind of depleting. Once it gets empty, that's when he's in stun land. Now what you can do when he gets low like that, you can kick him, and that'll take what's left of him. I mean, poison doesn't seem to do an awful lot in this game. Not really. I mean, it poisons you, yeah. Oh, bastard. You can get a shit ton of poisoning done. Right. Enough just easier. Okay, so you've killed him, and now there's this dude called the Light Reaper. The game doesn't give much away story-wise, but playing it through a few times, they seem to be servants of Adir, the big bad guy, and the lamp, and the lamp bearers are the heroes, and they want the lamps. And unfortunately, he's going to take it off you. Now, I have beaten him at this stage before. Doesn't break the game. There's certain quests that will actually break the quests. So certain quests you won't be able to complete if you kill him. Throughout the game, you technically have 2 lives. Now, as you saw, some character turned up. I don't think I've actually watched that bit before. So some character turned up who basically scared them off. Now the character was actually Harkin from the original game, who we'll meet in more detail throughout the game, although he's never referred to as Harkin. So if you just come around here a second, so later on in the game, we're going to come down here, and if you look here, there's a big doorway. Beyond it, which over there where the shiny is a player class and set of armor. Bit convoluted to get, especially if you're trying to do all the other. I mean, there's no real way of getting every single quest. Some you've got to sacrifice, depending whether you're going for the Umbral ending, the Inferno ending, or the Radiant ending. Now you can see his health bar is blue. Now if we shine, you can see he's got a little parasite that's shielding him. So what we do is L2 R1, and we pop the parasite, which finishes him off. Map of the abandonment. Now the maps, to be honest, I've never used them. I think it's useless. See, pretty fucking vague. Now you can see all my lamps all shimmering here, which is telling you there's something. So we're just going to make our way to the next vestige, and then we'll end part 1 there. Ah, and here is the guy who helped us, if you can notice by his dodgy hand.
I always wondered if there were. You're probably thinking that lamp's just a tool to be used as you see fit. Take it lightly, and you'll find it's the other way around. Mark my words. I don't know who you are, and I don't care. But since it seems Adir has you making you a bigger threat to the Rogar serves us both, I've defied the wills of gods, and if you know any kind of freedom, if you know any.
So he's called the Iron Wayfarer, but this is basically Harkin from the first game, because he's immortal. Now, just before we end it there, what we're going to do, stay in umbral form. Resting at the vestige will reset you. But what we want to do is come down here and soul flay this memory. Now it gives you a little bit of story if you want to listen, but basically we'll wait till it finishes. Now it will just keep going by itself unless you rest. But what we're doing it for is to get umbral scouring, which is a form of special currency we can use for buying certain weapons. I'm just going to sneak up on this geezer. Not a bad little weapon this actually. Never used this before. Putrid Chilled Sword. So we're getting similar, exactly same setup as Souls, Strength, Agility, Radiance, and Inferno. So with that, we're getting a D+ for Radiance, D+ for Ability. Physical 37, and we're getting wither damage 37 plus 4. Yeah, not a fantastic weapon, but for starting weapons I suppose it's alright. As I said, if you want to farm, it's good to do it in this form. Where's it gone? But we're not farming. Ah, now if you look at my health bar, remember when I said you can suck this up and it fills you up. Tell you what, I'm not building up upgrade points very well, am I? No. When you can upgrade, there'll be like a little marker next to it, so you know you can do it. Anyway, that'll be us for part 1. Nice little place to end it. Next we'll be moving our way up through the red cups, up to battling our way to the next vestige. And as always, we'll be getting everything that's worthwhile getting. Something that's not worth the hassle. It's not 100% walkthrough, it's easiest way possible walkthrough, really. If there's a way to cheese the bosses and enemies, we'll cheese them, trust me. I hope you enjoyed that little walkthrough for part 1. Part 2, if you're watching this, will probably actually already be up. But as always, toodaloo.